How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to episode 2 of my little Minecraft series that I've been doing here. So, last episode was just a tour of the world where I just showed everything that I've already built, whereas this episode is going to be more focused around a single build and my largest project to date, which is my nether perimeter. So, at this point of the game, 1,000 hours in, a lot of people have already given up. Not many people actually get this far, but as a technical Minecrafter, this is where the fun stuff happens. This is where you really gotta, you have a project, you got projects within projects, so I'll get into that more in a little bit, but here we go, making a nether perimeter. Why the hell would you want to do that in the first place? Let's find out. Alright, so first step to building a nether perimeter is just blow up the nether. That's really it, just blow it up. So a smart person would or just go on the internet and find a design for a purpose-built machine that someone smarter than them and smarter than me has already built an actual and designed it. It's out there, trust me, it exists. But no, I wanted to just try and do it myself, try and learn a little bit on the way, maybe, hopefully, and do it the hardest way possible. So I found a simple design for a self-returning flying machine, and then just built that over and over and over, and then just, oh my god. Do you ever just look at something you've done and just think, what the hell was I thinking? Why did I do that? This is months ago. As I record this happened months ago. And I look at this now and think, God, I'm a dick for not just downloading an mango design. God. Anyway, so after a couple of passes from the flying machines, the next step was to go back and clear out all the stray blocks. They weren't quite this bad since this is only the first pass, but still kind of a tedious process. The next step in my convoluted plan to make a nether perimeter is to clear out all the lava, which I did in an also not optimal fashion by using flying machines. Well, flying machines are a way to do it, but I didn't even use the optimal size flying machines. I wasn't smart about any of this process really, so don't do what I did, basically. So at this point in the project, or in my world, I don't have a mob switch active, which you can probably tell by the fact that I just keep going back and messing with the mob. So this is sort of what I was talking about earlier with projects at this point being projects within projects, because yeah, I could have done this. I could have cleared out all the lava and completed this entire project without building a mob switch, but this drove me crazy to the point where I just started fighting shit for no reason. That's how my session would end, would just be taking out my pent-up aggression on all the mobs around me. So that's pretty well the end of step 1. You done the smart thing, you went online, downloaded a working version of a world eater that someone way smarter than you's actually spent years developing, instead of indulging your delusion that you could compare to that. And you build a mob switch to help you get the job done without being harassed the entire time. What's next? Well, for me, I wanted to actually decorate it all and encase the entire perimeter in a glass and deep slate sort of wall. But to do that, it was quite the material list, which included a bunch of deep slate, a bunch of glass, and a bunch of lava. Basalt was going to be the easiest of all these things. So how do you even begin with a list like that, 100,000 deep slate, 100,000 glass, another 60,000 lava, and another 40,000 basalt? That's not an easy thing to start on, and so let's start at the top. I was pretty lucky with the deep slate, since after digging out the slime hole I already had about 30 shulker boxes worth, but to make up the other 15 or 16, I ended up building this tunnel bore, where I did exactly what I should have done with the nether perimeter, and I went on and found an mango design, or of someone of that nature, and just copy pasted it into my world. And that's how I did it. It's simple as that, really. I just spent a few hours at this and the shulker boxes filled up. Next on the list is glass, so this is why I created my mass villager trader, where I just go and trade for a bunch of glass. But to do that, you also need a bunch of emeralds, so I had to go and upgrade my raid farm, which I don't know why I ever built a raid farm that you couldn't AFK at, but I fixed that. After trading with these villagers for a really long time and way more emeralds than I thought I'd need, I managed to get this one done too. Basalt was probably one of the easiest things to get, since all I really had to do was just knock up this design in creative, which isn't a very good design, but I wanted to do it myself. That was probably what took the longest about this, was that I decided to design it myself. But yeah, basalt, done, easy. Last thing on the list is lava, which is probably the most annoying thing to get and definitely the most annoying thing to transport, but it's where I had the most fun in this project, and that's because I got to build a lot of different farms and actually refine a design, and eventually led to this farm, which is just the dispensers and the cauldrons working together on a larger scale, and that's how I got all the lava. I just had to come here and I could completely AFK it for as long as I need to and fill up as many shulker boxes as I could store in these chests, and then back through to the nether, and then that's pretty much it. They're the 4 main ingredients that led to actually decorating the nether perimeter. And yeah, with that I pretty well dyed all the glass, cut all the deep slate into the right patterns and stuff, and then finally started to build it. would you even want to build something like this? Why would you go so far for a single farm? Well, it's pretty much for the opposite reason that you would build a mob switch. So the way it works is, in a single player world, only 70 mobs can exist at any given time. And if you have 70 mobs in a little box somewhere and keep them loaded at all times, no other mobs can spawn anywhere in your world, creating in like an artificial peaceful mode. But you can also exploit this mechanic on the other end of the scale. Since Minecraft only allows mobs to spawn in a 128 block radius around the player, and I've created a perimeter, it means that when I build a farm in the middle of this, mobs will only be able to spawn in my farm. And since I'm building a wither skeleton farm, I have to coat all the ground and spawning spaces in wither skeletons, so the only in wither roses, so the only mob that can spawn will be wither skeletons, meaning that this farm will be pretty well as good as it can get when it comes to spawning spaces and stuff like that. The only way this farm could end up being better is if I used portals to immediately teleport the wither skeletons into the overworld, but I don't really like those kind of farms. They're kind of hacky, and I like the fact that I like the farm design that I've come up with. Even this stupid hole in the roof that I'm painstakingly breaking out of the bedrock, it's supposed to help the farm run a little bit faster as well, so hopefully I've built this farm to pretty well as good as I can get it. So if you're wondering how much bedrock that was, so was I. I spent days on this and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So after I ended up finishing this, I had to go into a creative backup I had of the world and just mess around with world edit to actually count it. And yeah, it was a lot. 5,635 bedrock, and each one of those was at least 2 TNT, and I failed on a couple attempts. Luckily I had the mini HUD tweakaroo clicker. I'm not sure which mod actually gives me that, but yeah, 5,635. That's a lot of friggin' bedrock. Anyway, back to my little celebration of finally getting out of the hell that was bedrock breaking. So now that the walls are complete and the hole in the roof was dug so that I could actually get in and out of the perimeter without cutting a hole in the glass every time, the next step that I wanted to do before the final step was just quickly mob-proof everything so that I didn't have monsters spawning in the walls like it was Attack on Titan or something.
What the? Guys, look! What is that?
with that all done, the only thing left to do is finally build the farm. And at this point, I cannot describe how excited I was to finally get it done. The end of the project, so close. Something I've been working on for months. My God. Let's just, here it is. Farm itself is actually pretty simple. All it really is some piglins in the middle that lure the wither skeletons into a hole, and they get then pushed together by all the pistons that I got there, and they fall down to me where I kill them. And that's pretty well it. That's the entire farm. All the hard work really was just in the preparation, in getting this area sorted out. And it's honestly not that big of an area. I just did it really stupidly. This is a bare minimum size perimeter. It's only a little bit bigger than the 128 block radius that's needed. So I only have sort of like a little area in the middle where I can stand without having mobs spawn outside of this area. So, yeah, it doesn't work properly. The collection system doesn't collect fast enough. So, I guess I'm fixing this now. The end of the project was done, and I thought it was good. It's not good. So let's quickly rebuild the farm. And here it is, the final farm and the final perimeter in all its glory. I can't describe how happy I am to finally have this farm done. Holy shit, don't really know what else to say. For any of the nerds among yous, it gets about 3,000 blocks of coal an hour. This is running in the creative copy of the world, just to benchmark it. And it gets about 800 wither skeleton skulls an hour, which is pretty damn good. I'm not gonna complain with that. Even though I feel like the time spent versus the 2 minutes I spent actually farming wither skulls, I'm never gonna use this many. It was really just like a vanity project, just to do something insane. So that's pretty much going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like. Yeah, this area is looking a little plain in comparison now, so I think we might have to do something about that for the next one. Guess we'll see what happens. I'm really not sure how I'm going to make the episodes moving forward, since this one took literally months to make. I'm not doing that for every video, otherwise I'm never going to get a friggin' video out. So, yeah. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.